Here's a question for you, Mike. Does black metal have to be evil to be considered black metal?
Oh, I was expecting you to ask me this. Um, I don't know.
Welcome to the
What do you
Crypt of
think?
Wax.
All right, John, what do you
Well,
think?
I don't know.
I think you're gonna say
I
yes.
don't know because this album is sort of making me question it. What I thought about black metal. So, all right, today we're talking about Autumn Strife, their third album, Romance. Third album in as many years, I think, 24, 25, 26. They've been busy.
That's crazy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
busy boys. So this is coming out or is out on Obscurant Visions. Eight
Good label.
great label. Yeah, they put out some really good stuff this year. Definitely go check them out. 8 songs, 31 minutes long. A quick overview. It's triumphant black metal, but very melancholic as well. Uplifting, but
Did you read off their Bandcamp?
well. All right.
Because I read that as
All right,
well.
here's one. Here's one that wasn't taken from the Bandcamp.
Go
Uplifting
on.
yet somber. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah,
About the same as what you, is that not pretty much what you said?
it's just synonyms.
Got fucking thesaurus as well.
Light yet dark.
Yeah.
So and
There's not much dark in it though.
no, there's not much dark. So it's this band sing about historical. I guess like a time in US history about, I guess, mostly Midwestern. I mean, I'm not a geographical connoisseur of the United States by any stretch, but this is what I've read about. There is a lot of like old school American rock and roll influence in here, but there's also like some influences from like punk as well, like old school British.
A 90s punk in there, isn't there?
Mate, I'd
That
even
sort of
say
vibe.
70s punk. You've got like, a lot of like
Yeah.
Clash. There's track 2 especially really reminded me of the Clash, that main riff. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But this, it's not your typical like evil, icy second wave black metal at all. It's really like reimagining what black metal is in essence, I think. And I think it's, when I first listened to this, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. And it's exactly how I felt with Heraldic Blaze last year. But the more I've listened to this, man, I feel like I just can't stop listening to it. It's
No,
so, yeah,
really?
I can't understand why I'm loving it so much, but I really am.
Well, I'm not saying I'm surprised because I think it's a bad album, but I'm surprised that you are. But then again, I did think Heraldic Blades was your album of the year last year, and
Yeah.
there are, not saying that they sound that alike, but they're definitely in a similar-ish wheelhouse, aren't they,
Yeah.
with their approach to this sort of style?
Yeah. It's got that real uplifting, triumphant, almost like almost too uplifting. Like there's moments on this, like, how have they got away with putting this in a black metal record? It's
Yeah.
crazy. So like, all right, the album starts off with this real old timey,
Do you like polka or something?
yeah. I don't know what time period that would be, like 20s to 40s around then.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
imagine so, yeah.
like jig type intro, and it transitions perfectly into these kind of like blasts. But like it's immediately what you're greeted with is this like really catchy lead, and it's
Yeah.
the lead lines throughout are kind of what bring so much like memorability to this release.
Yeah, I really like, I actually, the main riff in this one that they start with is actually one of my favorite ones on the album. It's very simple, it's almost quite hypnotic because there's
Yeah,
not many notes in this one compared to some of the others, but there's this hypnotic quality. It's quite memorable as well. And the thing this band does the best to me is I love the way they combine these kind of intense sounding blast beats with it's just this kind of intense melodicness
mm.
thrown at you of these really nice melodies. And I think they do it. I think this song's a really good example of them doing it very, very well. And I can see why it was the opener.
Yeah, one thing I think this band do really well is a really great understanding of songwriting. They don't overload songs with parts. They just have a couple unique, distinct sections per track, but they're all so cohesive throughout the album.
Mhm.
Even like the songs do differ quite a lot from track to track. It still feels within the same universe. It's all quite. It does sort of paint a picture, and maybe that is it's quite immersive, which is maybe why I've taken to it so much. Track, go on.
Can I just say as well, I think also they even look at the song lengths, they haven't the songs are quite concise
Yeah,
overall. There's not that it doesn't feel like they're needing, and I think it's probably because they've got not too many sections that there's enough space within that time to let those parts breathe without feeling the need for the songs to go on for 7 or 8 minutes. And
yeah.
I think especially with what they're combining in their sound, I think that works very, very well.
It definitely works in their favor. I think if you did have like a 7 8 minute track on it, it would start feeling unnecessary.
Mm,
They know when to kind of go in and go out, and that's it. Like 3 minutes, 3 minutes 40 is like the average kind of song length. You've got one on there that's over 5 minutes, but other than that, yeah, they're really concise, man. I want to
mm.
talk about track two, Mike, because I think this is maybe one of the most standout songs on the album, Chicago. The opening riff in this is probably the most uplifting and un-black metal riff I've heard on a black metal album ever.
It's mad, isn't it? Because I feel like the first song, yeah, it does feel different, but especially after listening to like bands like Heraldic Blaze as well, it's not a shock to hear that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But track 2, I don't think I've ever heard a band go as far, down that route before where it is to me I know you said 70s punk, but it reminds me kind of, and I know you said The Clash, it's sort of the same thing, but it reminds me of like Rancid and,
Yeah, when
not the
Rancid had
scar
their brighter phase, not their kind of like
yeah, not when they were doing
2000s
ska,
hardcore.
but when they were doing
Yeah.
more of the kind of punk thing, like them, Social Distortion, those kind of bands. It's that kind of chords they were
It's
using
almost like T
over
chord
blasts and
shapes, isn't
stuff.
it? A T chord on the fretboard,
Yeah,
but it wasn't just the shape of the chords; it was the bounciness and like hook of the lead line. It almost sounded like a sort of kids' TV show. It was that uplifting
yeah.
and like and unexpected, but I kind of loved it in a weird way.
I This is what I think happened with you. You heard this song,
Yep,
hated its guts,
yep,
really
yep,
hated
yep,
it,
yep.
and heard it a few more times, and each time you liked it a little bit more, and by the end of it, it's probably one of your favorite songs on the
I
album.
don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, and I think in isolation, if I'd only ever really heard this song, because I've heard it in the context of the album, maybe if I heard this as a single, I would have been like, "What the fuck is this?" But I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
the
yeah.
more I've kind of grown with it, yeah, like yeah, probably not my favorite, but it's a standout on the album for sure. It's
Yeah.
bold, man. It's a bold approach to go down.
It is because I feel like there probably are bands that and we know that with Heraldic Blaze, there are bands doing this kind of like very, very melodic but intense still black metal that's not going down that evil or icy route or anything like that. Um, but going this way with it, I haven't heard anything quite like it before
Yeah,
until I heard this. And I mean, I've got kind of that 90s punk thing was like a big part of my teenage years growing up. So I've still got an affinity with it. So to sort of hear it mixed in, I liked it. There was a nostalgia element to it with me as
there
well.
was. The end of the track, around 2 minutes, it did sort of slightly shift to a very slightly darker feel, very, that
Mm.
kind of somber element we spoke about that they introduced. But they do sort of reintroduce that punkier element to end on. But there was a moment, actually, Mike, I want to talk about. They had these sort of like reverberated whammies that did sort of sound very like Midwestern, reminded me of when Gendod
Yeah.
have that kind of they were doing that on some of their earlier songs.
I thought that on here there was moments that reminded me of Yen Dodd as well, actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Not because I mean, I know they go a lot more darker and things like that, but some of their more lighter parts,
yeah,
especially the first song on that album, reminded me a little bit of what they were doing here.
yeah. I mean, I think overall, I mean, we've gone on quite already some time, and we're only on track two, so I guess we'll kind of just quickly quickly go through the track 3, the Ohio Step.
Hated it.
Did you?
Oh, I mean, that to me, that's a skipper, man. I hated the main riff, the kind of almost had that ska kind of beat,
It was like a disco
and
beat almost at the start, wasn't it? That sort of went on.
yeah, and the riff was kind of a little bit. It was a little bit half sort of ska punky, half sort of, when you hear like Viking metal where they're doing the sort of drinking songs,
Yeah.
it had a little bit of that vibe to it. And it's the only thing I'll say is I'm so glad that they it was a 2.5 minute song and they
Interesting.
didn't eke that out any further.
I liked this song. I thought this song was cool.
You're joking. I can't believe I actually can't. I'm not that I'm really slating it, but I can't believe that you liked it.
I really liked the lead line that pretty much went throughout the whole song. There was a slight variation of it
Yeah.
as it went on, but I thought it was really cool. I loved that disco beat to start on. I love it when black metal bands put that in. I'm a big fan of it.
But with the chords and stuff as well, it almost had that, like, upstroke feel to it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, 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 fair.
Hey, I liked it. So hang on. So, what was your standout song then of the record?
I would say I'm probably between the first song
Yeah,
and I actually liked,
yeah.
Lamentations, and Futility. Those 2 back to back I really liked. And also, actually, I really like the last one as well.
Midwest Glory. Yeah, I
Wh
enjoyed that.
yeah, that was, like, really ferocious in pace, but it was so melodic.
Yeah.
Like, it was so, and there was a part in it about when was it? It was
What?
about 2 minutes, and it went so it sounded like melodic skate punk. It went to like a fast sort of like punk beat, but with the melodic lines. It felt like a, Fat Wreck Band or something like that from the 90s.
That song was crazy because it was like you said, the speed on the blast at the start was so ferocious and like
It was fast in the rest of the
it
album,
was,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was really intense. But the lead line was so uplifting, and it would there was a moment there was like a key change, and you think, oh, maybe it's going to switch and go darker. But the key change actually amplified the brightness and the uplifting element of it, and
Yeah,
it was like I was like, this is crazy, and it really kind of it kept surprising me where the lead line was going, which was really cool.
yeah,
There was a riff in this song. It was around 1 minute 14. It was like pinging back and forth just between 2 notes. It was really
yeah, yeah,
plodding. It was
yeah.
like dun 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 dun, and I was just like,
But they like that because that you hear it a few times, the bass line doing that over
yeah,
the top. And in fact, track 3, that bit I hated, that was predominantly around the dum 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 dum,
But I
with
think
the
that encapsulates that whole vibe that they're going for with this kind of like old Americana like
yeah,
storytelling, and I think it worked in that favor. You touched on the bass there, Mike. I do actually want to talk about the bass production. I thought it was really, really cool. Um,
yeah,
it was pretty high in the mix. It had a really great tone to the. It was almost a little bit fuzzed, um,
yeah.
but the bass lines were really like punchy. Really, really cool. I really enjoyed what they were doing with that. Um,
With the drums as well. I think the drums were really, really punchy, weren't they? And
yeah,
when the bass and drums worked together so well in creating that.
yeah. The production on the whole, actually, I thought was really, really good. I'm it
Yes, I mean, it's not raw, is it?
no.
It is well produced in that sense, but it's organic enough to sort of not sound
Yeah.
too much.
I'd say, yeah, it's not raw, but it's definitely not overproduced. It does
No,
fall in that kind of nice, on the fence,
yeah.
area. This is gonna split opinions, I think, this album. I think if you are really, like, a fan of, like, I like evil, icy black metal, and that is it, you're gonna think, "What the this is garbage." If you like,
Mm,
if you do like a bit more kind of maybe storytelling and whimsical and like that triumphant energy to it. I mean, if you did like Heraldic Blades that came out last year, definitely check this out. But yeah, I think this is. I don't know if this is going to be up there for me throughout the year. I don't know how much it's going to stay with me, but I really loved my time with it over this last week.
and it's kind of unique, isn't it?
It's really
It
unique.
you'll remember it because it's not gonna get lost in the shuffle of a lot of the other stuff that we're gonna cover.
Yeah,
Um, it's an interesting album, and, like, gotta admire their work rate as well for the amount they're putting out, like, an album a year.
yeah. Yeah, and they're an actual band. It's not like one guy. I think they're a three piece, so they've got.
Do they tour? Do they play
I
live?
think they do play live. I think I had a peek on their Instagram, and they said, promoters message us if you want us to play. So I think they are,
Ooh, nice.
yeah, doing so. Yeah. Let us know if you did check this one out, what you thought of it, if you loved it or hated it, because I really am intrigued to know how this is going to go down with some of the faithful. But yeah, if you got to this point in this video, thank you for sticking around. We appreciate it. Give a like if you enjoyed the content, and a subscribe if you want to hear more. We put out videos every Wednesday and Friday covering the latest or semi-latest. I mean, this came out in February, but we try in metal releases.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's what's the date today? It's only the beginning of March, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the tagline is
And Friday, look, Friday was February.
the tagline is slowly fading, but but we cover latest ish metal
I know, but
releases.
this is just the T's and C's at the
The
bottom.
T's and C's, yeah, the small print. Let us know if you liked this. Yeah, we'll catch you in the next one, hopefully. Thank you. Goodbye.